Hey guys, we are in the basement and today we're going to talk about a new game. That's right, but hey, first, check this out. It's Frogger. I finally finished my Frogger restoration. It took me over a freaking year to finish this and get this in the basement, but man, it turned out pretty badass, actually. I actually had 4 Frogger cabinets, and what I did was I took the best parts from all 4, and they were all basically various conversions, and one was an Ikari Warriors, one was a trivia game, and some of them had water damage. I basically just took the best parts I could from each one, and I made kind of the Uber Frogger, and I took the remaining parts and sold it to another collector who's going to make another Frogger, and he's actually going to make 2 of them. But anyway, mine's all done. I think it looks really badass. I put the side art on here, and actually funny, Frogger didn't have, I mean, hardly any of them had side art because it was an option they gave the operators, my understanding, and I guess not a lot of them took them up on the side art options, so you rarely see them with side art. And actually the side art is, I think, really adds to the game. It's got the original kind of wood grain and all that, and I replaced the control panel overlay. I actually installed a high score save kit in here, which originally the game didn't save high scores, and also it also adds free play, and it also adds the ability to put your initials in there, which the original game did not. So the high score save kit, if you have a Frogger, you really need to get that. But anyway, that is not why we're down here today. Today I want to talk about a new game I picked up. It's actually a pinball machine. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually sold my No Good Gophers and I replaced it with NBA Fastbreak. What? You know, I had a very specific list of games of pinball machines that I was looking for, and NBA Fastbreak was on this list. I know it's not the most collectible game. I know it's not the most desirable game, but you know what? It is a fun game. There's actually a very special reason why I wanted this game also. My wife, when her and I were dating in the 90s, this game came out. It came out in 1997, and there's actually a local radio show called Q101 in Chicago, and they had a contest. They basically had 3 listeners come onto the show and play this game for high score, and the winner got to take it home. Now, at the time, I wasn't collecting games. I was nowhere near this hobby, but I wanted that pinball machine, and basically I took her to Dave & Buster's, and she trained, and she trained, and she trained, trying to get good enough to compete to win this game. Well, the day came, she's on the radio show, and she came in 2nd place. She actually beat the first person, but it turned out the third person that, the second person that she had to play, which was actually the 3rd player, anyway, was a ringer. This guy was a pinball freak, and he just annihilated her, and it just was totally a huge bummer. The guy admitted later that he had like 12 pinball machines at home. So anyway, after all those years, this has been a game that's always been kind of a topic of discussion, and wouldn't it have been cool if we would have won that? So one came up, and these games do come up cheap, and I actually managed to grab one, and here it is. Now this game was designed by George Gomez, and George Gomez is one of my favorite game designers. He actually did Revenge from Mars, he did Tron, he did Discs of Tron, he did Satan's Hollow, he did some games for Stern like Lord of the Rings. He's actually designing the current Transformers pin for Stern. So George Gomez has a long history of designing really cool stuff, and this game is no exception. This is actually a very good pinball machine. The reason these games usually go for cheap, though, is because of the theme. Because, really, I guess not a lot of pinball guys are into basketball. But you know what? The theme, besides, it's a really fun game. So why don't I take the glass off and kind of show you guys how NBA Fastbreak plays. Okay, we have the glass off here, and one thing worth mentioning, this is a Bally pinball machine from 1997. Now at this time, Williams owned Bally, so really it's a Williams pinball machine. But basically they had the Bally brand name, and what they did is they used it on their licensed games, or at least that's what it appears. They used it on Addams Family, they used it on Scared Stiff, and they used it on NBA Fastbreak. Basically anytime they were using a license and not creating an original game like Whirlwind, they were throwing the name Bally on there. But essentially at the end of the day, this is a Williams pinball pinball machine made by Williams pinball machine designers using Williams parts. I mean, if you look here on the flipper, there's even a W right there. But anyway, this game is NBA Fastbreak, and it is a basketball game. And what's interesting about it is that it doesn't score like a pinball game. It scores like basketball. And you can see the high scores back there. They're all double digits, 61, 52. That's right. To get a really good score in this game, you need to get like 100 points. If you can get 100 points, you are great at this game. And how do you score points? Well, first of all, you can notice back here, there is a basket. And there's basically all kinds of different ways to get a ball into that basket back there. There's also a shot clock, which is pretty cool. And also in the back glass here, you notice there's actually a game back there. There is a basket back there, a flipper, and a ball. And various times within the game, you're actually going to get to play a game of basketball in the back glass. And for instance, you might be making a shot and you'll get fouled, and you need to take a free throw. And you take the free throw by shooting in the back glass. And basically, you control that flipper, which throws the ball through the air and into that basket back there, and then you get points for that. And it's actually a great little feature. There's actually a great mode called Pizza Party Ball that uses that, which is a great way to get like 10 or 15 points. And believe me, that is a lot of points in this game. So yeah, so there is a game back there. Also, it's worth noting that this is a fan layout, okay? Now, George Gomez is kind of known for the fan layout, or his fan layout. And what does that mean? Well, basically, when you're taking shots from the flippers, you want to aim for one of these lanes or ramps, and you can see they're all laid out in a fan. You know, you've got a lane there, a lane there, a ramp, a lane, a ramp, a lane. They're all just kind of fanned out like that, and that's called the fan layout. And basically, this type of layout typically has more flow, as they call it, which basically means you're going to have more of a fast-paced game where the ball is just constantly in motion, and what you're trying to do is kind of control the situation by shooting, you know, the ball from the flipper up a ramp. The ramp returns it to the flipper. You go up a lane. The lane returns it to the flipper, and you just keep going basically from ramp to lane to ramp to lane, trying not to hit anything else, because if you do, you're basically, the ball will just start ping-ponging in here, and you will just like lose control of it and drain it. And I actually think it's pretty neat, and I actually like it a lot because it's totally different than the other games I have. You know, Simpsons Pinball Party and Whirlwind both have kind of this Pat Lawler. Well, Whirlwind is a Pat Lawler game, but they just kind of have like the same similar layout, and it's not a fan layout. It's more of a stop and go where the ball is constantly stopping, you're waiting, and you know, there's very clear targets, whereas this is just a fan layout and you're constantly going up a ramp or a lane. Anyway, it's pretty neat. And so the objective of the game here is to complete all these different modes, and once you do, you will then earn a champion ring right here. And the modes are actually all basketball themed. Some of them are goofy and fun, and some of them are just pretty much straight up basketball. So you can see here 2 points. So if I get 2 points, which is very easy to do, I will light that up. If I get 3 points, I will light that up. If I get a free throw, I will light that up. And then once I do that, complete all the field goal modes. And then you have 4 different multi-ball modes, and after I complete all of those, I will light those up too. And there's multi-ball hoops, run and shoot hoops, hook shot hoops, and half court hoops. Those are actually not multi-ball modes, but the multi-ball hoops is obviously. And then basically back here there are 4 combination shots, which is tip-off, slam dunk, alley-oop, and fast break. These are actually the hardest shots to make, and these are basically combination shots. Like for instance, if I want to do this slam dunk, what I need to do is shoot the ball from here. It's going to go up this ramp right here. It's going to loop all the way around and then come back to the flipper. And then what I need to do is basically take the flipper and shoot it then right up the middle and make a basket back there. Now you'll notice that there are actually four players back here, and they're all labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a guy here, a guy here, a guy here, and a guy here. And basically what they've done is they installed pop-ups, you know, pop things that will kick the ball, kick-ups behind each player, and those are actually players on your team. So if you miss a basket, the ball will actually land down here, and then a player on your team will pick it up and make the basket for you. You know, almost, I don't know what the basketball term is, but basically they will save the ball from you if you miss it, which actually makes it more immersive and more like basketball. And what it is actually after each of the 4 players on your team, when this guy makes a basket for you, this light will turn solid, and basically what you want to do is you want to get all 4 of them to make a basket, and once they do, then you start around the world multi-ball, which is one of the modes. And you notice back here there is also a shot clock, which is very cool, and some of the modes will use that and count down. You know, you basically have a finite time to complete the mode, and you have to do it before the time expires, and the time is shown there. And also back here there's a diverter, which is really cool. So this ramp here is actually double duty. If you go up, when the diverter is down, the ball will come up here and loop around and go back to the left flipper. And when the ramp is up, when the diverter is up, the ball will actually loop around and make what they call an alley-oop pass back there, which is actually really cool. So anyway, the game's got a lot going for it. It is a DMD pin. It has a dot matrix display, and it has a lot of great sounds. It's got all the NBA teams and all the players from '97. There's trivia in it. It is missing Michael Jordan, which is really irritating, but I guess he wouldn't agree to be in this game. So why don't I set up the tripod and play a quick game and show you how it plays. Alright, we got the tripod set up, so let's start a game. Alright, so when you start a game, the first thing you want to do is you want to select your team. And what's cool is each team has its own leaderboard. So we're going to pick the Trailblazers. You can see the high score on that team is only 51 points. And we're going to try to beat that. Sorry, there's the tip-off. So right now, I want to get it, I want to make a basket. And I didn't, I missed, but my teammate made the shot for me, which is real cool. Alright. Ah, shit. So basically what I'm trying to do here is just basically get the ball up all these ramps and lanes to make all these different shots.
And there's an opening to the basket.
Alright, so we just started the
time for a pizza power shot.
Pizza power shot. So right now I'm controlling the backboard, which you can't see. Lame. Alright, here we go.
Look out, here comes the ball.
And I missed the basket, but my teammate made it, and I was fouled there. I got a free throw.
Power point.
Missed the basket again. And I was fouled again.
It's time for half-court hoop. Shoot up the middle.
So it's telling me right now to shoot up the middle, which is right there, because it's half-court hoop, so all those shots are going to be worth 2 points. Oh, jeez. Actually, they're all worth 3 points.
You better hurry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out of time. Jump ball.
Alright, let's try it again. Oh, shit. This is a hard pinball game, by the way. I don't think it's easy at all.
Possession goes to the home team. Ball spins around for a slam dunk up the left ramp.
So we just made a fast break right there.
Williams is right on him. Robinson breaks free for a fast break up the center ramp.
Ah, shit. So right now my score, that was a 41-point game, which isn't really that good, to be honest. You want to get over 100 points.
Too bad.
Let's just start it again real quick. I want to show you guys the in the paint mode.
Vancouver Grizzlies. Let's place the ball. Get back in the game. Oh, he bounced that baby right up to the rim. Zabonis is trying for a slam dunk up the left
So
ramp.
what I'm trying to do right now is get the slam dunk up this ramp like that,
Looks like
and I missed it, but and then my teammate makes a shot. Now I want to show you guys the in the paint mode, which is actually really cool. So if we go up here,
Rebounded by Ryder.
okay, now what I'm doing is I'm passing the ball from my players. There's actually a player back there that's moving, and then I'm shooting when it's open, and I make the basket. It's actually really cool. Anyway, there you have it. That is NBA Fast Break, and I want to show you that thing back here again. You see there's a little defender back here, and that player actually moves left and right during the in the paint mode, and what you're doing is you're passing the ball from player to player with the flippers. It's actually a cool little feature. And then the $1 million shot, which is what we did there at the end. If you drain your last ball here, when that's lit, you actually get a second chance to make that shot, and if you do, you get to keep playing with a free extra ball, essentially. And also, I want to note, the plunger, there's no button here. It's right here. This is how I've been shooting the ball, and it's actually on the lock bar, which is actually kind of interesting. But anyway, that's NBA Fast Break. I hope you you guys kind of follow that, understood it. I think it's a really great game. I think it's actually a lot of fun. What's cool about it too is that it's a great game to play with a friend, first of all. And it's also it's a nice game that you could just play for like 5 minutes and feel completely satisfied. Whereas a game like Simpsons, it's more of a chore to play. It's a great game, but it's more of an investment in time and really just mind. Whereas this is just kind of like a really modern pin, but the shots are real simple. You don't have to think too much, and I actually really enjoy it because of that. And I think it's a really good looking game too. So anyway, that's NBA Fastbreak. Hope you guys enjoyed it. By the way, go to my website, johnsarcade.com. And you know what? Speaking of George Gomez games, let me show you guys one more thing in the garage. Here we go. Okay, so let's go out to the garage. I want to show you guys one other game that was designed by George Gomez, and it was Discs of Tron. And I actually just recently picked this up. It was on Craigslist, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Discs of Tron is a very kind of rare game. This is the upright version. The one that everyone really freaks out about is the environmental version, which is one where you actually kind of get inside of it. But I actually never actually wanted the environmental because it's just too big. So this is the upright. I think the upright is just as cool as the environmental. I have some work to do here. It's not perfect. The game does work. There's an issue with the sound. My buddy is fixing the board for me. But when I bought it, it was not working at all. It was actually a power supply issue. But I got the game working. It's up and running. The board's not in it at the moment. And so I'll be restoring this game and hopefully get this in the basement before winter. And so look for a video soon on Discs of Tron and how it plays and all that. But it's a really cool game. Evidently the story is that this game mode was going to be in the first Tron game, but they just couldn't fit it in, so they made it its own game. And this game is actually much rarer than the first Tron upright game. I guess they just didn't make a lot of them. This game came out later after the movie was out, so it was just bad timing, and I don't think it sold well. But with the Tron kind of craziness now, it's become a really hard game to find and very desirable. And I think it's a really cool cabinet. It has all kind of the black light effects and all that stuff. And the same joystick, they added kind of a shield button. The spinner goes up and down now. There's actually platforms. But anyway, I'll make a video for this soon once I get it running. And I'll show you guys how Discs of Tron plays. So anyway, there you guys have it. NBA Fastbreak. Hope you guys are having or had a good summer. And we will see you later. Be sure to check out johnsarcade.com. There is a forum there, so if you guys want to chat or get a hold of me or other like-minded gamers, go to johnsarcade.com and join that forum. Anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Take care, and later.